guess the main concept behind the new record, Broken Road, was one of firstly journey, as the name suggests, and then also of evolution, I suppose. There's a kind of evolution in the music as well as an evolution during the writing of the album, as opposed to my last release. In some ways I feel like it's more of a positive record. I feel like it's talking about the journey you go through as an individual when you change into something almost better than you once were. I feel like the last record was kind of quite inward looking, but this one kind of is almost like dealing with the process of coming out the other side of sort of personal problems, personal issues, overcoming that and kind of looking back and realizing on the distance that you've come since those days. I think this album is different from my previous releases because I feel the music has kind of moved on a little bit from maybe the sort of blues aspect of my work. I do feel there's still a homage to that roots of blues, but I do definitely think fans will hear a bit of a progression from that. Having said that, I do feel if you listen to the record, it's definitely a Ben Hemming record. It's not like I'm doing rap or something like that, but it's maybe developed a bit, but it's still got at its core that kind of rootsy vibe, I suppose, that's been kind of prominent in my music up to this point. But maybe it's kind of taken a few steps further along the road and progressed into a kind of more of a sort of alt rock vibe as well. Although kind of, I suppose, still in keeping with the main sort of themes of my work up to this point. I decided to record this album in Norway mainly because of the producer, Nick Terry. Nick has worked with me a lot in my releases to date. He's pretty much been involved at some stage or some part with all my albums. City of Streets, which was my second album, we recorded together in this, funnily enough, in the same studio, Velvet Recordings, and he was a producer on that. And then my last record, he kind of mixed that one. So I suppose in a way, having returned to the same location as the second album was recorded, I feel like there is that kind of sense of a bit of a journey, a sense of progression from those days, which is implied in the title, Broken Road, but also the subject matter has that theme, as well as, funny enough, how the album actually came to be. So I guess it's kind of fitting that that's kind of happened with this record. I guess my favourite songs on the album are mainly the singles, but I think Dark Deals is quite a different sounding song from my previous work, so it kind of marks a progression from what I've done up to this point, while other songs from the album maybe are still more kind of rootsy and bluesy in their kind of outlook. That song is really more of a kind of step away from that, in a kind of more of an alt rock, I suppose, way, while still keeping elements of what it is that makes my music, like the lyrics, the imagery is still there, the voice, but maybe it's more towards that rock sort of sound. But other songs, I feel like Holy War still has that kind of singer-songwritery kind of bluesy feel that's been so dominant in my career up to this point. And I also really like Knowing When to Die, because it kind of it took us on a different journey. There was an interesting sort of techniques in the recording of that song, which I feel sort of is a bit of a theme for the rest of the record, and really does demonstrate how I've tried to really push this record in terms of the production and the songwriting.
These bloody